been great for us. We finally cracked into that top 10 defensively that we've been working for all year, and a big part of that is he's starting to pick up other teams' point guard. We talk about him being the head of our defense, our first line of defense, and he's done a really nice job of that. Great rebounder, good instincts. So we don't think he's underrated because we think he's a very good defender. I can't speak of what other people think of him.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously not known for it, but he's shown some things. What about the 3-game winning streak? You said a week ago we need to win more at home. You're starting to do that. Is that surprising to you? Is that enticing to you?
It's not surprising to me at all. We got a very competitive group, and we talk about it as a group. Where we want to get to, and the type of team we're going to become. One of those characteristics is, you take care of business at home. So this is an important home stretch for us. We have one more home game before we head out on the road again that we need to take care of. But as of right now, it's been a successful homestand for us.
Lonzo said that maybe last year the ankle injury that he had really kept him out a couple weeks, and he sort of attributed that to the work that he did over the summer. Did you feel like, was that to you, was that also a sign of progress for him in terms of how he can get through injuries?
Yeah, I think that's part of the growing up process in the league, and as you get older and mature more, you understand your body and understand what you can, what you can play through. And I think I think missing half a game and coming back and being mentally and physically ready to play a night later, shows that he's growing as a player.
I think we've seen times where LeBron wants to sub out or needs to sub out, but are there also times where maybe if a game is competitive or close, you have to sort of temper his expectations? He was just telling us, there are times when I want to play all 48, but it's not always smart. Do you find yourself having to kind of wear the coach hat in some of those situations?
We have pretty good dialogue about how he's feeling, but there's definitely times that I take him out and he seems frustrated that he wants to stay on the floor. But a lot of that is depending on how the flow of the game is. I like to not have him close the entire fourth quarter. If he starts the fourth, I try to find a couple minutes here or there to sit him out just to keep him a little more fresh for those final couple minutes. But it's more of a game-to-game type of thing.
Over the last couple games, Michael Beasley's been getting some of the minutes that Lance Stevenson has been getting. How does Beasley's presence change the composition of that second unit?
Well, it gives us some more size. Michael's very talented offensively, whether it's scoring. One of the things I've been most impressed with since he's been here is his ability to pass the ball. And, he's been having, some really good practices. He's been involved and engaged. So we've been trying to find an opportunity to play him. And, I got to a point where I was just going to get him out there, and I think he's done a nice job of being prepared and taking advantage of those opportunities.
Luke, how would you evaluate Ingram's season at this point, both sides of the ball?
He's been good. He's going to keep getting better. We need him to get better. He knows that, but he's been a big part of us having success.
We've known that, obviously Michael's needed to take some personal days and be away from the team. How much is he just sort of getting up to speed in terms of ingraining himself in the culture of this team?
He's one of those guys that his teammates love him. I mean, whether he leaves for a week or not, I mean, he's part of the culture. He's part of the team. That's not an issue with him. He's got that type of personality. It was more getting him back into shape, getting him back into shape. We had put in some new sets, getting him caught up with some of the playbook. But as far as the culture is concerned, he's all in with that.
You mentioned Brandon needing to improve a lot. Is it reasonable?
Well, they all everyone needs to improve.
Exactly.
So
is it reasonable to kind of say that the top end of this team, in terms of where it can go, is based in a lot of ways on how much those young guys get better between now and
Absolutely, yeah. Brandon and Kuz and Zoe and Josh Hart, and if Mo starts getting in there a little bit, I think people around the league know what LeBron can do. We know what Rondo's going to do. Some of the Chevelle has been deep into the playoffs the last few years, so it's where we're trying to get to, and how much success we have by the end of the year is in large part going to be dependent on how how much and how quickly our young players continue to grow.
When you have this less wiggle room, and I know you talk about like guys sit if they don't do what you ask them to do, where do you fit the development time in? Is it after practice?
It's everywhere. It's before practice. It's after practice. It's individual work with the coaches they work with. It's showing them every clip that they had in a game, good and bad. It's in the film room as a group. It comes from their teammates. It's Tyson on the bench saying, "Listen, Dunn, you got to do this on this. Look for this." So the development's happening all the time, everywhere.
How hard is it as a player though to improve in the middle of the season?
I think it's hard to sometimes recognize how much you're improving as a player because you're in it and you don't see the little bit that's happening here and the little bit that's happening there. But it's you get out there and you do it day after day. It definitely it happens, and a lot of the style of play that we're talking about developing happens way more in the season than the off season, because off season is more about individual development.
Do you like what you see from the young guys going all the way back to training camp up to now?
They've been great. We give our young guys a ton of responsibility, and that's not easy in this league to ask of them what we do. And coming out of the gate struggling record-wise at least, and having a new team, new teammates, media everywhere, and they just keep coming in and working, and they keep wanting to get better and figure it out. I'm very pleased with our young core.
What is the proportion of conversations you have with LeBron about the future? Maybe not even this season, but next season, where the direction of the franchise is. Do you guys talk about that?
We talk about the best route to get, where we want to be at the end of the season, and what's the best way of getting there. And we have those type of talks. But as far as anything past this season, we don't talk about it at all.
In terms of those in-season improvements, for a young player like Brandon, how counterintuitive can it be to work on moving without the ball when maybe he's used to creating his own shot or leans on that a little bit more?
Well, yeah, that's a big theme for our whole team. We have a lot of guys that are used to having the ball in their hands to make plays or to score, and for us to continue to get better, we have to get better at playing without the ball. We're not a team that is loaded with just spot up, knockdown shooters, which is then when you go more of give the guy the ball, let him create. You have the space. We have versatile basketball players that are good at getting to the rim and good at playmaking, but we also have to get outlets for them, and you do that by continuing to cut, continuing to set screens, as opposed to just standing.
How much of that process is you guys trying to sort of put them in positions to either make them do it if it's BI not used to it, or kind of adjusting to whatever fundamental problems they might have?
Well, it's both. I mean, it's both all the time. It's we're not going to tell Brandon he's not allowed to do that anymore. I mean, it's something he's good at. Or we're not going to tell Michael Beasley you can't do that. But when they do it, we're showing them on the film what's available out there, and we're showing them when they're weak side what it looks like when everyone stands and what it looks like when they cut. So he can learn when he's scoring how much nicer it is for him when people are moving on the weak side, and when he's on that weak side, so that he understands why we're preaching that.
Luke, how close is Rondo to being back?
He practiced pretty much all practice today. I mean, he's still holding back a little bit. You can see when there's a loose ball, like he'll reach for it with the other hand, and when it gets into contact, he'll kind of protect it. But he said it's not from pain. It's just, it's something. And anytime you're coming back from an injury, you have to kind of retrain your brain to just react to what's happening on the court. But his team won a lot of the drills today, and he was darn good out there.
Does he play tomorrow?
Thanks, everyone.
No. What's tomorrow?
Wednesday.
No. We won't play tomorrow.
Thanks,
Luke.